In the currently ongoing war in Ukraine, air defense was one of Russia's main targets. Several anti-aircraft systems were attacked and destroyed, and in some regions of the country Russia already has complete air superiority. This raises an interesting question: how can air defense survive a powerful enemy? First, it is necessary to establish the following: the main enemy of anti-aircraft systems is anti-radiation missiles. These missiles detect radar emissions from anti-aircraft systems and guide themselves through these emissions to the radar, which is then destroyed. The second main enemy of anti-aircraft systems is guided weapons in general, especially those with laser guidance or infrared system. It is the characteristics of use of these types of weapons that will determine the defensive measures to be adopted by an anti-aircraft battery. The first of them, precisely because of the threat of anti-radiation missiles, will be the control of emissions, or the controlled and moderate use of radars. The radars must be turned on for a few seconds, just enough to carry out a complete search, being turned off soon after, and they must remain acting in this way successively. The idea behind this is to prevent a plane armed with anti-radiation missiles from having enough time to detect, locate and engage the radar, but if this is done, the missile loses signal and the radar is turned off. Another option would be to keep the anti-aircraft battery's radar off, but receiving information from a long-range radar positioned further back. When detecting a target, the long-range radar passes it on to the anti-aircraft system, which will only turn on its own engagement radar with the target already within its range, with no time to react. These engagements can also be made through the anti-aircraft battery's optical systems. This battery can remain permanently with its radar off, receiving information from other radars positioned further back into the territory, and when a target appears within its range, perform the interception through the optical system, which is immune to anti-radiation missiles. The disadvantage is that the detection range by an optical system is lower than the detection range by radar, besides being strongly affected by weather conditions, but it would be an alternative for short and medium-range systems most of the time. However, receiving information from another long-range radar positioned further into the territory could be compromised by the enemy through low-altitude flights, where the relief and curvature of the Earth would make it practically invisible to the radar. In the absence of airborne early warning aircraft, the most efficient and cheapest way to counter low flight is to advance the position of short-range anti-aircraft systems, such as portable missiles and cannons. So, by flying low to avoid long-range radars, the enemy would put themselves in range of short-range defenses, which are cheaper and can be in large numbers. Even with these tactics, there will still be the threat of other weapons, such as laser, GPS, or infrared-guided bombs. The use of these weapons, however, will depend on the adversary knowing the exact position of the anti-aircraft battery, something that can be done with signal intelligence aircraft, satellite imagery, drones and spies. This requires that an anti-aircraft system, in order to survive, make intense use of mobility, always changing positions, without ever staying in the same place for too long. The use of modern camouflages, especially multispectral ones, which decrease the radar and thermal signature, if applied to vehicles that make up an anti-aircraft battery, can also make detection difficult, especially by satellites. Another measure, although more expensive, but which can significantly increase the chance of survival of an anti-aircraft system is the adoption of a second, more internal layer, composed of a system with a shorter range and with CPGM capacity, that is, that was made to shoot down guided weapons such as bombs and missiles. In this way, even if all the above measures fail, there will still be a chance to destroy a missile or bomb that has been launched against the battery. These measures, if adopted together, should significantly increase the chance of survival of anti-aircraft systems, even in the most intense scenarios.